Paul, Elise, Karen. Yeah.
Good afternoon. This is a hearing of the Chatham Conservation Commission being held on September 24th, 2025, in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Town of Chatham Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Regulations. My name is Karen Latin, and I serve as the chair. Today's hearing is being broadcast live on Xfinity Channel 1072 and is being recorded for the on-demand archives available on the town's website. It's being conducted in person, by phone, and by video conference. The agenda, instructions on how to attend, and copies of documents for review are posted on the town's website. To all participants, whether attending by phone or online, please remain muted unless you've been recognized by the chair. When recognized, please identify yourself for the record. If you're attending by phone, you can mute and unmute by using *6. If you're online and you are not a commissioner, please keep your camera turned off unless you've been recognized, and indicate that you wish to speak by using the raise hand feature. So that we have a record of a quorum, I will now ask each commissioner to indicate their presence. Vice Chair Paul Johnson.
Present.
Elise Gordon.
Present.
Janet Williams.
Present.
Eric Hilbert.
Present.
And Bob Del Vecchio is not here. I am here, and we have established we have a quorum. At this point, are there any announcements from the public or from commissioners or future agenda items? I have one thing. Well, actually, I have two. I think, when we ask for additional materials, you have until really the day before the meeting to get them in. And we're finding that this is an issue for those of us who use paper, and so we are going to now ask that any additional materials arrive to the office by 11 on Friday so that we can get them into the packets, and that way we hopefully avoid continuances because people haven't had time to review the materials before the meeting, because I've just handed out materials to people today. Which was the first time we've seen each other since they arrived. My second announcement is, and maybe Janet can do it better than I, but we have a conference tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 6 in the community center for climate change and coastal resilience. And so hopefully, if anybody's interested, they will come and attend. It should be very interesting. We have a couple of our employees speaking, and then some others from other areas in Cape Cod. Do you want to say anything further about it, Janet? Okay, good.
4 to 6 o'clock?
4 to 6,
Yep.
Tomorrow. All right, before we begin the agenda, Paul, are there any announcements for any continuances today?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Yes, there's one request for continuance. It is 784 Orleans Road, Town of Chatham. I'll read the whole legal announcement when we get to
Right.
it.
Thank you. So at this point, Paul Whiteman, Chatham's Conservation Agent, will now lead us through the agenda, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First on the agenda is a request for an order of conditions. The address is 42 Harborview Lane, Keith S. Sharon, 212 Qualified Trust, map 16I, parcel 22-M2, DEP number SC10 3743. The project is proposed beach nourishment. It was continued from August 13th, 2025.
I did receive your email.
Say again?
I did receive your email. Like-
Just like last time. So I'm Mark Burgess, Shorefront Consulting, just the consultant for this and the next project, and I'll remain silent, so.
Okay, well, we're
No
going to go
worries.
through them. So Mark sent an email this morning after reviewing the order. For 42, he did ask that we include the letters from Catherine and from NHESP, which had been left off from the supporting documents. So I added those. Thank you for catching that.
No worries.
And then I added in findings, the purpose of this project is to provide beach nourishment in the form of compatible sand cover to be placed over the existing revetment. The amount of the nourishment for this property is 66 cubic yards, based on the recommendation of Catherine Ricks, Coastal Resilience Director of Chatham. This amount offsets a 3-year calculated loss of sand. I also added, you asked that I add the trigger point and the placement of sand that's also in 54. I did add those. Do you want me to read those in full? Okay, because they just copied them, so nothing big on that one. In special conditions, number 2, I did modify it. I said, it looks like Janet just added more. Nourishment shall consist of 22 cubic yards per year as triggered each year by the exposure of the stone step at the base of the access steps for a total of 66 cubic yards over the full 3-year period. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is they're going to do it once and do 66 yards.
Right.
Oh, wait. Say that again?
Catherine Ricks, her letter suggested that the erosion rate was for 22 cubic yards a year, but then suggested to avoid increased disturbance and multiple disturbances, that we would place a 3-year amount. That's where the 66 yards comes from.
Okay, so it's all going in at one time,
Yeah.
66.
Yeah.
Okay, let me change that then.
Yeah, this isn't
I
something
thought
you
we
wanna
were
do
sticking
every-
with the 22 per year.
Thank you. This isn't something you want to do every year. It's just too much, not enough bang for your buck and too much just going over the lawn and disturbance and all that.
Okay, then I added number 5, trigger points on the stairs and existing revetment shall be marked with stakes so as to monitor over a 3-year period. Also, photographs of the beach and entire project area shall be taken, before the beginning of the project, immediately upon completion of work, and then annually for a 3-year period. I also added the verbiage about the NHESP that had come, we also have in 54. I did take out the written annual monitoring report because we already dealt with mitigation plans. Then you also asked that in section D, which is installation of fiber roll arrays, which you said doesn't pertain, and I get that. I think maybe we want to change the title from installation of, I didn't want to put all of these that are being kept into the special conditions. So I hadn't come up with a good name for what we could call this. So maybe,
So, question,
Go ahead.
So this section's in here as well as the revetment, but if what we're talking about is nourishment over an existing revetment, I take it that the point of having these in here is their conditions that pertain to nourishment requirements, is that correct?
Yeah.
And we can take out the other things and call it
Well, he also asked that,
nourishment.
you're right, and he did ask that number E, the installation of rock revetment, totally come out. I just didn't remove it. So, because I wanted to hear commissioners' opinions. And what we're doing here is also going to be, has been done or is going to be done in 54. So we won't have to go over this twice.
I just thought some of the conditions that were in the fiber roll do apply to the project. You could
They
just
do.
add them as special conditions on the
So
other section.
maybe we could title it as nourishment, revetment nourishment, maybe?
Nourishment protocol?
Nourishment of existing revetment,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
works.
that's good.
okay. So the equipment stays in, salt marsh stays in.
Yeah, I
machinery
marked-
Access, all that stays in. Beach nourishment, number 5.
Yep.
That stays.
I kept the ones he asked to have stay. I did read the
Yep.
other ones and felt that it was appropriate to remove them.
Okay, probably the storm damage one can go, because that has to do with the fiber rolls being dislodged.
Right.
Shorefront protection, well, this is a form, it's a modification to a form of existing shorefront protection, so we can leave that in in case anything goes wrong with that.
Right.
Which number is that one?
That
That's-
was,
it
it's now
was-
7, I just changed, the approved shorefront
It- it
protection system may
was
not be
13,
appropriate, yeah. add
And then
an
it
item.
was 15, failure to follow maintenance, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So
and then let me
he
just take a
also
look at
asked that we remove totally the rock revetment.
Let me just make sure there's nothing in there that,
Exactly.
there's a nourishment, but I suspect it's the same as the, as the fiber roll nourishment.
And it deals with machinery, but we've already dealt with machinery.
Yeah, installation of the rocks, that can go.
So
Annual monitoring report, we said, okay, no.
I just didn't want to cross it all out
Yeah,
before the meeting.
Yeah, okay. I have a question, though.
Go ahead.
And then, so that's all gone, that whole revetment section is gone,
Thank you.
and just the applicable ones of the prior one. But back up to the references to triggers. So if all the nourishment's being applied at one time, at the beginning of the project, what's the point of having triggers if there's no renourishment?
Well, there is a renourishment. That's the purpose of the trigger.
So you're putting 66 cubic yards in
Now,
all at once.
right? And then you wait for that trigger point to be exposed, and then you could put another 66 yards. That way
Even
you're,
though under Catherine's calculation, she was calculating 22 yards a year,
Yeah.
right?
and you're putting in 3 times that, is there any, okay, rational chance that you're gonna reach that trigger point with that much sand going in?
Don't know. Mother Nature's driving that bus.
All right, we'll leave the trigger there.
Thank you.
And deal with it at,
Yep. If and when it gets reached.
And the applicant would have to contact you
right,
to notify you.
office.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So the question I had flagged in the project description, and I know we take this right from what's proposed. Originally, you had proposed 187 cubic yards, and that was what with the back and forth with Catherine. That's still in there. The sentence says the proposed amount is 187 cubic yards. I just wanted to think about whether leaving that in
I
created an. if
I
we-
didn't remove it because that was their description, but we could update it. That was one of our discussion items
Yeah.
once we went through his list.
Yeah. I mean, we could say the original proposed amount was 187 cubic yards, which was subsequently later agreed to be 66 per the.
This is in
letter
your
of the-
project and mitigation description, which you had actually asked that it be updated.
Yeah,
Yeah, just to 66. That's where
I
we
didn't,
landed.
I wanted to talk to the commissioners about that since it's the description that came in for the project. And I
I have
try
no-
hard not to modify descriptions that have been provided to us.
I don't have a problem if you want to state the 187 so that there's a record that the commission reduced that amount.
Well, we
I'm
are,
doing
we
that.
are staying,
worries.
we're
I'm
saying it was
Read this to you in
originally-
1
Yeah,
second.
that's fine.
To 66 cubic yards. So it says the original proposed amount of nourishment was 187 cubic yards for a 2 to 3 foot cover of sand. Due to concerns expressed by the Coastal Resilience Director, the applicant agreed to reduce the volume to 66 cubic yards.
Perfect.
Right.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okey-doke.
All right, commissioners, does anybody have anything else?
I just wanted to get, so if there's a storm next spring and wipes out the 66 yards, you don't have to go through all this again, do you, to put a,
No, that's
Oh,
the
no, no,
idea.
no. They contact the agent.
yeah, okay, good.
I like you
Off to
guys, but
Paul.
we don't want to do this any more than we have to.
I love it. Anything else? All right, then could we have a motion, please?
I move that we close the hearing on 42 Harborview Lane and approve the order of conditions as modified.
Second.
Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, the next one, Paul, please.
Next one, Madam Chair, is 54 Harborview Lane, Dune A. Foster, 212 Revocable Trust, map 16I, parcel 21-M1, DEP number SC 103744. Again, this is proposed beach nourishment. It was continued from August 13th to 25. I assume you don't have to go through a whole discussion?
No, we're not going to. There are a couple things. We will need to change the description of the project.
What's the, remind me, what's the agreed upon?
It is 102. And then we will have to remove the revetment and rename.
Yeah, I'm leaving the other one open for the moment, not accepting.
Exactly.
So we can use that and go back.
Exactly. So, any commissioners have any questions or comments on this one? Since we've already talked about sort of, we probably should have opened both at the same time.
Yep, very much more of the same.
So, while Janet's doing that, we can have a motion, please.
I move that we close the hearing on 54 Harborview Lane and approve the order of conditions as written.
Second.
Okay, Eric,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Janet,
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And next one, please, Paul.
Next on the agenda is another order of conditions, 149 Koch-Pinnicket Road, Christopher Rhinesmith, trustee, map 16K, parcel 1, DP number SC 103748, demolition of a portion of an existing dwelling, relocation of an historic portion of the dwelling, and construction of a new dwelling in a buffer zone to a coastal bank. It was continued from August 13, 2025.
How
Good
are you?
afternoon, David Clark, Clark Engineering on behalf of the applicants. Just a couple of points. Somewhere in either the property description or the findings, we would like you to just add that it's a pre-1978 house, just to put that into the record. In the property description, it talks about the house being there in 1938, but if we could have the language that it expressly says that it's a pre-78 house, just because that's the term used in the Wetlands Protection Act.
So Janet just added to the description, the house therefore is a pre-1978 house.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Yep. Anything else?
And then to that point, in section E, conditions 11 and 12 talk about no revetment. And I know it says if applicable, but that just adds ambiguity to the order. So if it's not applicable, it should.
Okay,
that
which number in E?
11 and 12, I believe, in section E, page 11.
If applicable, yeah, so 11 and,
11, 12
12.
talk about the
Okay.
revetments. And then, I think that's it.
get that? Okay.
Oh, what section is that? It's page 11H. Conditions 13 and 14 appear to be repetitive unless I'm missing something.
You know, I'm noticing that we have some repetition.
Which conditions?
11, they're under special conditions, and they're 11 and,
Oh.
no,
No, 13 and 14.
13 and 14. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is happening. Usually I catch that.
Mr. DeVecchio would have caught it.
You would have, we see. Okay. Do commissioners have anything that they'd like to say? Okay, then we can have a motion.
I move that we close the hearing on 149 Kochpenicket Road and approve the order of conditions as written.
Second.
Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Paul, the next.
Next on the agenda is a order of conditions review for 560 Orleans Road. 560 Orleans Road LLC is the owner, map 13J, parcel 7-G20, DEP number SE10 3749. Pre-construction, it was continued from August 13th, 2025. I said pre-reconstruction, I meant peer reconstruction, I'm sorry.
How are you?
Good. Steve Goldstein for 560 Orleans Road LLC.
Okay.
You received the changes to the drawings that you requested in the last
Yeah,
meeting.
probably.
So we replaced the through-flow deck with Ipe.
Right. Did you get the order that we wrote?
Yes,
Okay. Did you read the order?
I have.
Okay. Were there any issues?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What issues with the order did you have? Because we, hopefully, we've incorporated what you submitted. So, just if you could go over what you would like,
Sure.
what you saw.
So on the first page, first paragraph, the seasonal ramp is being extended by 2 feet. It's no longer being extended by the 2 feet.
Okay, which page? It's not on the,
11B,
oh, okay. Okay. So you will take out the seasonal ramp that came directly from your application. That's, so it is reflected further down the size of the ramp, so, but we can take that out. We just did.
or say that it was changed,
Right,
either way.
we took it out.
Okay.
What else?
11C,
Yeah?
you have the current plank decking will be replaced by in-kind lumber. Is Ipe considered in-kind lumber?
I'm not even seeing that. What is, how does, do you see it
This is
here?
under project and mitigation description.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Second paragraph, the current plan.
Oh, okay.
Is it in-kind lumber? Well, Ipe is lumber, right?
Yeah,
Different, what's there now?
wood.
Okay, yeah, but it's still a timber decking and timber
is.
decking. Okay, that's,
And is it possible to reconsider the through flow?
Not at this time.
Well,
Well, commissioners, how do you feel?
can I explain my reasoning?
Sure?
None of the decking materials are great.
Right,
The through flow is a fiberglass reinforced plastic, if you will. I know your concern is the plastic, but the fiberglass is going to hold it in better than anything. There is no evidence of degradation of the through flow. And then the big advantage is any of the deckings that you put on as boards, whether you even go to the 3/4 inch, which was as big as I could possibly make it, you're only getting about 12% of sunlight going through. with the through flow, we're getting 43%. And that's huge for the vegetation down below. So I think that the benefit of putting through flow outweighs any risk that there might be from the plastic.
Commissioners, how do you feel?
When you,
Go ahead.
when you say the fiberglass holds off on the erosion of the plastic, full sun, what is the prediction? What is the proof of it?
There is no proof, but there's no evidence of degradation either. The company came out and said in the 25 years they've been making it, they've never had a complaint. And in fact, the Army Corps of Engineers in Florida is recommending the use of this in those pathways.
Yeah, Florida, I don't know, man.
We'll have Florida mad at us now.
It is treated with a UV protectant that does also help prevent the degradation.
They probably do help the sugar cane grow, I guess.
Anybody else?
Well, I'll just note, we've been having this conversation for several years now, with different commissioners expressing different views.
Exactly.
I understand what you mean, it's an extruded poly PVC material. There are no peer-reviewed studies on the rate of degradation in the sunlight environment. It is not subject to marine environment. There's no water reaching the decking of this. So I always come out with saying a theoretical possible risk sometime in the future, unknown, loses to the known risk of shadowing on salt marsh beneath it. But I have only been, no one else, I'm the only voice saying that. There is, and that's not without real reasons, that we just don't know how this plastic material is going to break down in that salt marsh and whether microplastics will end up migrating off of it and into the salt marsh is the concern. So, I mean, I get both sides, but that's just me.
And Elise?
I'll give the opposite view, because 25 years of whatever research is there is the blink of an eye. You could end up not having a salt marsh in 100 years because of it. We don't know what the effects of that plastic is going to be, so that's why the unknown seems be more conservative than use the new stuff.
This is not a new opinion, as Janet said, of the commission, because we have visited this many a time and have come on the side of this.
Actually, let me just throw out there that where we have landed, that everybody can support, is using aluminum.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because
Are you
that
aware
has
that
been-
the microcrystals of aluminum cause
Haven't
cellular
seen-
degradation?
Again, haven't seen any studies about how that happens.
There are
It's not,
studies.
Again, it's not subject to the marine environment, so there's none of that happening. But plastic is just a bigger problem in the marine environment than,
I think if you look, there are studies that show that the aluminum oxidizes instead of rusts, and that gets right into the water. And when it breaks down into microparticles, it does cause cellular degradation of
well,
the
then we'll stick
aquatic
with
life.
timber.
Yeah. So unfortunately also, this was a discussion that should have happened before we went to an order, because at the point when we said that it was ready to go to an order, I thought we had all agreed on the composition of the decking and wrote the order based off of what had been agreed upon. And obviously, this is a discussion that is larger than what should be taking place right now. So, and as it is right now, I know you still have to go to zoning. And what we had been ready to propose was that we would approve the order today, but not close the hearing, so that in case anything, when you go to zoning, gets modified, you don't have to reapply for an amendment or whatever. If you want, and you want to have a further discussion of this point, we can just continue it. Yes, Paul?
I just want to add that, the information around the studies is definitely inconclusive. But not to be arbitrary and capricious, as the agent, I've been telling homeowners they can no longer use flow throw.
Right, that's what
So-
we've been saying, because that's
Right.
our,
It's been your policy now for a while, brought up by Vice Chair a few years back. So I think it's unfair to say to one applicant, you can go ahead and do it, and then I've already, just recently told somebody that they couldn't do it based on what
and-
you guys have.
So it would be such a change in practice that we would probably have to issue some sort of policy document. to
exactly.
justify it.
And as I said, it's a bigger discussion than here. So,
Okay,
okay,
thought I'd ask.
all right. Any, commissioners, anything else that, in the order that,
I have more in the order.
what?
I have more comments for the
Oh,
order.
okay.
On that same page, you have the existing, again, the existing ramp will be changed. That's not correct, with a longer ramp.
Right, and
And then,
we'll fix it, but we don't change the description that came in. It's dealt with in our findings. We do say that it is a 14 by 6 foot seasonal ramp. So, we say that in the findings, the 9 foot by 10 foot seasonal float and the 14 by 3 seasonal ramp are seasonal. I know it's it's continuing that seasonal word 3
That's fine.
places, but it gives you the point. So, and we've done that in the conditions as well. So it is covered in the part where, the description is what you submitted
Okay.
originally.
and then the last line says, the plan calls for float clamps. That was removed prior to the meeting.
Exactly. If it's not on the plan, it can't happen. So, your plans and everything that we've what we put in the findings and these special conditions are what and all the other general conditions are what should be dealt with.
Okay. So on the next page, again, you have the seasonal ramp being replaced, but number 11, Ms. Rick's opinion, ladder versus walk-around. We did talk to DEP. We do not have the 5-foot clearance, and being that the pier is located basically on the property line, even extending into our neighbor's property, it's not possible to walk around. So the only solution is to put ladders on either side.
Okay. And we received that from DEP, or I don't recall seeing anything.
It just came in this morning because
Oh.
it was only raised
Okay,
as of this morning. If I could show you this?
yeah, we can take it. And this is again, unfortunately, it only came in this morning, but again, why?
This was not even an email to the commission.
You can't talk unless you're at the mic, so I'll get knocked out the window. So here you go, Janet.
That was an email that was just forwarded to me from ING.
And you forwarded it to.
I didn't forward it to anyone because I didn't
Would
know.
you please to Crystal so that it can be included in the file?
Of course.
Okay, anything else?
Under special conditions, lumber will be cut on site and installed on site. Is it possible to be cut off site?
Does it say, yeah. It says, yeah, it does. It says lumber will be cut on site and installed on sites. Oh, okay, we had a mistake. It's off.
Okay.
Okay, we'll fix that. Do you want me to fix that?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay,
That's taken care of.
what else?
Page 11K, number 5.
Under which section?
This is specific conditions installation of access stairs. Number 5 says there'll be a minimum of 3/4 inch spacing between the decks. That probably should be a maximum. Anything more probably is a violation of code and
Okay, you want
probably
me to make
prevents
that, Janet?
unsafe.
Yeah, I know you're still typing. Okay, what else?
I think that's it.
All right. Any commissioners, anything? Nothing, Tad? Okay, because you are not meeting with ZBA until
Tomorrow.
what we're going to do is we're going to approve the order, or have a motion to approve the order right now, but we are not closing the hearing in case, as I said, ZBA changes anything. It will alleviate you having to refile for an amendment, but on October 8th, we will close the hearing,
Very good.
barring anything, happening at ZBA. Okay.
I move that we approve the order of conditions on 560 Orleans Road as modified.
Second.
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, Paul,
Thank
the
you.
next, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the agenda is an order of conditions for 0 AKA 240 Cedar Street. This is Town Project Cedar Street Pump Station Design, Town of Chatham, map 12B, parcel 11, DEP number SC 103751. Project is construction of a new wastewater pump station, and it was continued from August 27th and September 10th of 2025. And I notified these gentlemen to be here today so they could speak to the order.
Hello. Did you get the order?
Yes,
And
we have a few comments.
I figured.
Nothing major.
Nothing major, just a couple of things. One's a clarification. So on page 11G, number
Okay.
12, and some of that language is repeated on page previously.
Okay.
But 1,700 feet of wetlands are affected by the project. It also says another location will be determined for replacement of the wetlands in conjunction. But further down in that same paragraph, it also says the applicant must propose at least 1,700 square feet of restoration of existing wetlands. So like a little clarification, are we looking for restoration of existing wetlands to mitigate, or are we looking for a completely new wetland mitigation site?
I think we had agreed that it would be restoration
Yes.
of an existing.
Existing degraded system. We're not going to
Yes.
require replication,
Okay.
creation of a wetland, but there's plenty of degraded wetlands on town property that would be very suitable candidates for restoration. So I'll change this replacement to restoration of existing
We are very,
degraded.
very agreeable to that change.
I figured you would.
And that would also be on the,
Page
under the
11D.
findings, number 9.
Okay.
We figured that number 9 and number 12 should probably
Yep.
read exactly the same.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
There's a typo on, just
Bob's
on
here in
the,
spirit.
Yeah, boy, did Bob call you?
just under the property description on the second page of the property description, the.
Well, then
1, 2,
you guys had that
Yeah.
typo.
So, yeah, so-
A
Say duct-
copy.
Duct bank.
Yeah,
Where is
Okay.
it? What? Where do you?
it says associate electrical duct, and then it says NAK, parentheses S.
On the property
So it's-
description?
What page is it?
It's,
Project and mitigation.
11C.
11C, yeah.
C. Oh, what,
Like the fifth bullet.
yeah, duct, what is,
Sixth bullet down.
It should say
Max?
duct banks,
oh.
as
what's a
opposed to,
neck?
yeah, no. We should have caught it on our way out, I guess, so
Okay.
unfortunately, we caught it here.
At least it wasn't our typo.
No, well, there you go, so there's
Since I
a
did
typo,
this
there's a
one.
typo.
Thank you.
It was our typo.
Since I did this one, I'm glad it wasn't me.
Also, the 5 remaining trees, I mean, we would like to use our existing mitigation area, the conservation restriction area between Ellis and Smith Street to replant those 5 trees. If that's allowable, we could put it in the record now, or,
Do we want to,
No, they need to submit a plan.
Yeah, I
so we
think-
can put that in the record.
submit, talk to Paul and
Paul, sure.
we'll go through the right channels.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
I think that was it, right?
Yeah, I don't, just take one last look, but I don't believe so.
No, I'm all set.
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, anything? Excellent. Okay, a motion, please.
I move that we close the hearing on 0 Cedar Street and approve the order of conditions as modified.
Second.
Okay, Elise.
Aye.
Janet.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I say aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul, next, please.
Next on the agenda is our last review for an order of conditions, 552 Shore Road, Francesco Scatone, I hope I pronounced that right, and Judith Gibbons, map 16G, parcel 16-T3, DEP number SC 103750. Project is residential additions and mitigation plantings. It was continued from August 27, 2025.
Okay, anybody?
Yes, good evening.
Oh.
Can you all hear me?
Hi,
For the
Raul.
record, Raul Lizardi. Hi. We did receive the draft order of condition. We reviewed it with the team. We had actually no concerns with the conditions listed. I do think there may be an extra heading in one of the pages at the very bottom of page 11L. It seems that there's a heading there, project-specific conditions, and then it follows up on the next page with section D, general conditions. So I wonder if just one of those headings, the one at the bottom of page 11L, doesn't belong.
Did you cover it? I've seen,
No, I wrote this one, so,
okay.
that stays in when there are subsections for various types of projects, which none of them were relevant to this, so I missed taking that heading out, so now it's gone.
Okay. Anything else?
That was all.
Okay. Any commissioners have anything that they want to add or change? Great. Okay, could we have a motion, please?
I move that we close the hearing on 552 Shore Road and approve the order of conditions as written.
Second.
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Paul, next, please.
Next on the agenda is a submitted field change request. The address is 19 Forest Bluffs Road, Stephanie and Maureen Haddad, map 3A, parcel D1, DEP number SC 103401. Implement a land stewardship program. This was a field change request to change the demarcation of a single rail fence to a steel edging. We did reach out to Stephanie. Oh, there she is, okay.
Yep. Hi.
I will be
For
quiet.
the record, my name's Stephanie Greaves from Crawford's Land Management on behalf of the applicants, Stephen and Maureen Haddad. The homeowner would like to change the requirement from a single rail fence to steel edging. It's required to run along the mitigation area and the lawn, and just for their personal preference and their aesthetic goals, they'd like to change the requirement from the fence to the steel edging. The homeowner mentioned they may be here, but I don't see them.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions, comments? Just 1 minute. First, the commissioners.
We normally just say either stones or a small split rail or steel edging, as long as it's visible. The whole point is that it's a visual sign to landscapers that you don't run your machinery over this, don't cross this line. So your pictures show it looking appropriately obvious, as long as.
That's an
it's
example. That's
Maintained,
not
I know,
fast.
because there's no driveway or anything on this one. As long as it's appropriately visible, I don't have a problem with it.
Anybody else?
No
The
problem.
only thing is, I would like to make sure that it truly is visible, and because my concern is that something can grow over it, and then they don't see it. They might see it when they run over it with the lawnmower, but, so, okay, and if you want to speak, you're welcome to come up to the microphone and introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm Stephen Haddad, owner of 19 Forest Bluffs Road. So this began as a voluntary project with good intent.
Right.
To rid the invasives and to, install plant material that's favorable to the environment, to the coastal bank. And before the project, of course, there was no demarcation of any type. And I just wanted to point out a few things. I think, steel edging would be safe and easily seen. The gardeners have been mowing all summer, even without any demarcation, and they're right on. There's an above-ground irrigation system there that's sort of right at the border, and that's sort of been stopping them from going any further. So on one side is the conservation area, on the other side is a flat lawn. So it's easily seen, or the demarcation is, in my opinion, is easily noticed. And I think, honestly, digging holes for fences is more detrimental to the land than putting in a steel edge. There are no other homes on Forest Bluff, along the whole bluff, that have fences on the coastal bank. And I just think that it would be, reasonable to allow this as opposed to a fence. I just aesthetically really didn't want a fence there, to be honest.
And you do understand that it's not really a fence, it's very low to the ground.
I
just,
understand.
because we use the word fence, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand what is meant by that. It's not a large fence, it's,
I
2 inches
understand.
off the ground.
Yes, and Stephanie
Okay, I
had
just
shown-
wanted to make sure.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
And so I just think that it would be reasonable to approve, such a request. I know it's not a tall fence, it's just something we would prefer not to have.
no, I understand.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any response or anything? Okay, then I think we can have a motion.
I move that we approve the field change request for 19 Forest Bluffs Roads as modified.
Second.
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I say aye. Next,
you.
Paul, please.
Next on the agenda, Madam Chair, is another field change request. The address is 311 Sea Pine Road, Richard Davis, map 12K, parcel 7-HC22, DEP number SC 103662. The project is proposed addition to a dwelling and a new septic system. The system was not built. The field change request is to remove the septic replacement and a portion of the mitigation that was required for the septic from the project as it was not necessary. And I did have a chance to meet with the owner, actually, one of the construction people, not you, on the site. So I'll chime in when I have to. The plan is up there.
Okay.
Very good. Phil Cheney, the landscape designer that did the mitigation plan that you've had from back in the, what was all approved. Just want to, clarify to make sure it's clear that there were 2 areas of planting that were proposed. One shaded in green was the mitigation, which met what was required. And the second section, which I've now outlined in red on the plan, was an area that was simply to revegetate the area that would be disturbed when the septic tank was removed. It was determined eventually that the septic tank did not need to be removed and was kept in place, so that area was not disturbed. There's no need to revegetate it. In fact, it would be pretty impractical to try to be planting now on what is currently the septic tank. So simply, we're looking to eliminate that portion of the planting because it's just not necessary.
Commissioners, anything? Janet?
Just making sure, it's unusual to have a plan and have specified vegetation, oaks and things on it that is not part of mitigation. So this was just to restore the area that was thought that would be disturbed?
Correct, yep. In the original plans that you had, only the green shaded area was shown as shaded green.
As
And
mitigation.
marked as mitigation. And the other area was just simply as a revegetation area.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
we met the requirements for the mitigation with the green area out beyond the deck.
Okay. I do not have a problem with that part of it then.
Can you just speak to the whole, and I know it's a very small area, it's about 100 square feet of the sod, not seed?
Yes,
And what
I-
kind of sod is it? I assume not
I
Cape
assume
Cod.
not. I wasn't involved in that there. I just wanted to separate in the two things there, yes. But during prior, I believe during the summer, the sod lawn was replaced from all the construction out in front, and they extended it around the wing of the house. And so one of the other requests that we would have is that rather than tearing that up and reseeding it with fescue, you know, it's a very small area, you know, it makes
It
sense
is.
to me to just leave that there as it was done. Wasn't really intentionally there, it was just the contractor just wasn't looking at he wasn't doing mitigation at the time, he was just finishing the lawn.
Okay. Hopefully, in the future, they wouldn't do something like that. Okay, anybody else? Oh, Eric.
Yeah, on the sod, well, you weren't involved, but
Right.
I always want to, recommend, and that type of area would be the Black Beauty,
Sure.
would be the best.
Yep.
Instead of
Thank
the,
you.
instead of
I
the
know there are
standard.
some good alternatives, and I have no idea what they used.
Yeah,
for that
rather than
sod.
just bluegrass, you know. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm just curious to hear from Paul about what you observed when you went on site and met with the.
Exactly what was discussed. There was about 100 square feet of sod extended into an area just off to the right of the green area. It looks like they just carried the sod into that area. I don't know, Eric, what kind of grass it was. It almost looked like a bluegrass to me, but I wasn't sure. Originally, the order called for a fescue mix, so it's not a big area. And I think it was just done inadvertently by the homeowner and the person who put the sod in. So
Right.
it's not a huge issue, I think.
No, I agree.
Okay.
All right, can we have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the field change request for 311 Sea Pine Road as modified.
Second.
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Paul, the next, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now we're moving on to notices of intent that were submitted. The first one on the agenda is 504 Old Harbor Road. The applicant is Scott H. Wallace, trustee, Blue Heron Trust, map 16H, parcel PB, EP number SE10 3752. The project was relocation of an existing dwelling onto a new foundation, including construction of additions, renovations, construction of a swimming pool, cabana, and hardscaping, and relocation of an existing driveway.
Thank you.
Hi, good
Hi.
afternoon. Stephanie Sequin with Broder and Wilcox, representing Blue Heron Trust, AKA Adam and Laura Silipsky, who are the owners of the property. Online is hopefully Peter Stevens from Dan Gordon Landscape Architects. Here in the room is Francesca Gordini, who's an architect with Patrick Ahern Architects. This property's at 504 Old Harbor Road. It's a 2.9 acre total piece of property. Approximately 83,000 square feet of that is buildable upland. It abuts Chatham Harbor to the east. There are several areas designated as land subject to coastal storm flowage. It's a little complicated here. To the east, it's a velocity zone, elevation 15. And to the north and south of the property, there are A zones. The flood contour is 14. We've shown the boundaries of the velocity zone and the two A zones. I would say in general, the topography at the flood zone is between 4:1 and 10:1. So by policy, the flood zone boundary is the top of the coastal bank. There are a few areas where the topography is steeper than 4:1 at the flood zones, and in those areas, we've gone to the point above the flood zone where the slope becomes less than 4:1 and delineated that as the top of the coastal bank. So we've basically got coastal bank that wraps around and covers three sides of the property. We're showing the 50 and 100-foot buffers. There's just a strip down the middle running from the road toward the harbor that's outside of the 100-foot buffer. There is an existing dwelling, according to assessors' records. It was constructed in 1940, so it is an historic building. It's partially within the 100-foot buffer. There's a rather extensive curved paved driveway that extends to a drive-under garage on the water side of the property. The entire driveway is paved, and a portion of the existing driveway extends into the 50-foot buffer. The existing septic system is a Title V system. It was constructed it was upgraded in 1996. It was inspected in 2024 as part of the preparation for selling the property, and it passed inspection, is in good condition. And there is an extensive Cape Cod lawn surrounding the building that extends very close to, and actually in some spots over, the coastal bank. What's being proposed here is to pick up and relocate the existing structure, moving it closer to the road, further from the resource area, constructing additions and renovations, going up in some areas to create more of a second floor. By moving the building forward, that opens up, provides some space where they can construct a in-ground swimming pool, patio, and cabana. There's various retaining walls as part of the hardscaping. The existing driveway will be relocated slightly, but still maintaining that same general layout of having the large curved circular driveway, and then also the access to the drive-under garage in the back. The pavement will be replaced with a pea stone and shell surface with cobblestone edges. So we're going to be eliminating a lot of impervious surface and replacing it with pervious. All the new structures and hardscaping are outside of the 50-foot no disturb zone, with the exception of a portion of the relocated driveway. The existing and proposed coverage calculations were provided in the narrative and are also shown on the site plan. Within the 0 to 50-foot buffer, we have a reduction in coverage of 102 square feet. And in the 50 to 100-foot buffer, there is an increase in coverage of 5,138 square feet. And the total coverage within the 50 to 100-foot buffer is at 29%. So it's under the 30-foot maximum that you allow. As mitigation for that additional coverage within your jurisdiction, Dan Gordon's office has provided a very extensive, detailed mitigation plan, and they are showing 5,257 square feet of existing lawn to be restored with native plants. The main focus of designating that mitigation area was first restoring the area of the coastal bank that is currently maintained as lawn, and then from there working back out of toward the building. We've included our pretty typical construction notes in the project construction protocol in the project narrative. We're showing a silt fence to be installed around and to serve as the limit of work for construction and demolition. Any stockpiling of material or construction material will be outside of the 100-foot buffer. We've got plenty of room there for that stockpiling. And we're specifying gutters and downspouts to dry wells to contain roof runoff. I'll hand it over, unless you have any questions, I can hand it over to Peter, and he can go over the details of the mitigation plan.
I think that would be preferable.
Okay.
So then we can deal with all questions at one time.
Great. Hello, Peter Stevens here. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, you're a little light, but, so,
Okay, I can speak a little louder if necessary. How's that?
perfect.
Okay, great. So as Stephanie indicated, we are showing proposed mitigation in the coastal bank as our first area to mitigate. That's in this location here. Can you see my cursor? So
Yeah.
the
So-
coastal
well,
bank
wait,
runs.
it's not, there it is. Are you sharing or?
I am sharing,
Oh, okay,
yes.
now it's showing, okay.
Okay. The coastal bank is identified here with this line
Mm-hmm.
running through an existing maintained lawn space. This is the existing edge of vegetation along the coastal bank. So there's a fair amount, about 5,000 square feet of lawn here that's existing and maintained, which we're proposing to replace with all native revegetated plantings for mitigating all of the proposed impervious on site. And it's made up of a combination of perennial grasses as well as shrubs. We have beach plum, we have bayberry, we have Carolina rose, we have quite a bit of American beach grass along the edges. So we're kind of building that planting up towards the existing vegetation line, which is here. The additional planting, there's a small amount of mitigation planting on this edge over here. Also, this is a small section that encroaches into the coastal bank, so we're mitigating that piece as well. And then the remaining planting on site meets all of the requirements of 100% native plantings within the 50-foot and 75% native plantings within the outer 50-foot buffer zones. And we are proposing a fair amount of vegetated plantings along this edge of the driveway, up here towards this resource area, down along this bank, and around the edges of the property on this side. As you can see, the coastal bank does wrap around 3 sides of this property. And we have buffer zones extending inward on all 3 sides. I think all of this will, be should be seen as an improvement to the current condition of the site, as all of these planting areas are currently all maintained lawn, which slopes down to the resource area. Does anybody have any questions, or would you like me to dive deeper?
I have one. You talked about 75% native in the outer aura.
Yep.
In the document you provide, or the plan you provided, you broke it out by what percentage trees, what percentage shrubs and vines, and what percentage perennial ground cover bulbs and grasses were native versus non-native. Overall, all of that put together, what percentage of native versus non-native is it? We're used to seeing it as a total, not broken out this way, so I just would like, because,
Yeah, we weren't really sure. I mean, we had talked a bit with the administrator on how they wanted, like, how was that to be calculated? Was it was 75% of native plantings 75% of all combined, or was it 75% trees and 75% shrubs?
well, if it
and they
weren't all combined, then your shrubs and vines are not at 75%, and you're at 63%,
Right, well,
according to what you provided. And so that's why I'm asking for the grand total, because that's
Sure.
usually what we see, is what
Okay, and so
percentage. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever noticed anybody providing it in this manner before.
Okay.
So can you give us that
Well,
number?
all 3, I can, I would have to do the math, but it shouldn't really matter because all 3 categories are over 75%, so.
Well, no,
that
because
should-
shrubs and vines,
Okay.
you show it as 63% and 30% non-native, 37% non-native, so that's not over 75%.
How are you seeing 63? How are you getting?
Unfortunately, I think the
Right here,
plan you're
the bottom
referencing
number.
is. The plan you're
Under,
referencing
he
is an
lists shrubs and vines, and then he has total number of plants, and then it says percent.
Mine says 75.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Well, where
Unfortunately, the plan
did
you're
mine come
referencing
from?
is it's the previous plan that was submitted.
I don't know where.
So this is,
I obviously don't have the most recent, because I have a total of 168 shrubs and vines, and you have 187. So,
Yeah,
I'm
so the-
sorry, I
the
don't
current
have
plan
the
is-
latest.
The current one is on the screen.
Right, I'm looking at what was provided to us on paper,
Understood.
and it does not match. Just so you're aware, you gave us an old plan.
There,
Somebody did.
there
Or-
was an earlier set of material that was submitted, and then an updated set of everything was submitted.
Right, and this is from the updated packet. That's what I'm saying. So you might want to submit the correct.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I'm incorrect then.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
not. You're reading what you were given.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry for the confusion. So the original plan did have it broken down a little differently, and we had a different planting list. So this has been this is a revised plan that was submitted
Right. okay.
by Ryder Wilcox. And so all categories are over the 75%. So I can do the math to figure out when you combine them, but it will be north of 75. It's going to be somewhere in the 80s, I would assume.
Right.
Based on,
Okay.
okay.
All right, does anybody have questions, or do you want him to deep dive? Eric?
When you say deep dive, how deep are we going?
I mean, I can
looked
go
at the
I can
plan,
go
you
shrub
know,
by shrub if
When
you'd
I was
like.
a kid, I played in that house with a son that lived there,
I didn't get that.
and it had little secret passages in the house, I remember that,
Yeah, I
from
didn't
room
have
to
that.
room. It was quite a unique house. Yeah, I don't, the first thing that I noticed, I really don't have a lot of, the only problem I have with the mitigation is, when I looked, I wasn't concerned about anything other than that, moving the house back, great. Your coverage, you moving the asphalt, even though I like that asphalt driveway, that's pretty, I mean, that's like a piece of art. I mean, that's really cool. You know, shell and stone, you know, it's a pain in the neck, really, because you got to spray it with herbicide to keep the weeds down after a couple of years, and that's going to be about 100 gallons. So as far as plants around the foundation, personally, I don't really, because after a while, the indigenous dies off, and people plant what they're going to plant anyway. But for the mitigation, I was surprised that you didn't, you know, that corner, that's the path to the water.
Yes.
Yeah, to me, the first thing that I noticed would have been a slam dunk on mitigation, would if you kind of spread the wealth on the mitigation along the east side, rather than, you know, highlighting the corner, which really, that corner area didn't really look too bad to me. It's just that the lawn was way on the east side there, you know, at the end of the lawn. I thought for sure that the mitigation would be more spread on from, you know, north to south, to mitigate that lawn area. Would have been, to me, would have been more logical, but other than that, I mean, you know, it's a big piece of property, and it's a wonderful piece of property. It's one of the last of the Mohegans. But that's the only concern I had, was in the placement of the mitigation. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else?
Sure.
Janet?
I agree with Eric that the mitigation was what caught my eye, and I have to say that when I was standing there, looking at what was probably the top of the bank, as the bank slopes down and is covered with this lawn, the top of the bank wasn't staked, so it wasn't possible to see exactly where it was. I was looking at the plan. But either way, it makes sense to restore the bank where the bank is now lawn and get that lawn out of there. And I think that it goes up to the clearing where the native vegetation comes in. But it's not, I can't tell from the mitigation plan, you have, I guess this is for Peter, so you have shrubs, I assume, identified, and then there's the straight line hatching. And is the straight line hatching, is that for the grasses? Is that-
There's a mix. So, yes, that's correct. So anything that's any type of hatching is going to be either a perennial forb or a grass. So along the leading edge and along the path, We have American beach grass. Inside of that, we have a few different perennials with some seaside goldenrod, some eupatorium, some Joe Pye weed. There's a few others in there, and I can find out exactly what they are. But they, that's what those are indicating, is a series of different pollinator plants for habitat value.
Right, I could see the letters denoting that, and then go to the chart and try to figure out what they are. And I thought that's where the
Yep.
grasses and all were. And the concern I have about that is that you have this extraneous little mitigation area up on the north side, but doing what you have proposed here, there's no vegetated buffer strip at the top of the coastal bank. And you have a lawn that slopes down to the coastal bank. Now, I assume that there's no, this is all Cape Cod lawn, it's staying Cape Cod lawn, although there's a reference somewhere to resodding, and I don't know what that is. But when you have a sloping lawn down to the top of a coastal bank, there's always the question about runoff and either carrying contaminants or causing erosion. So we'd like to see some shrubbery or some deep-rooted vegetation at the top of the bank to protect that bank from anything. And so I would suggest that rather than have that second mitigation planting area, that you extend this out
Okay.
to create a vegetated buffer strip to protect that top.
Okay. Yeah, so we have this very small amount of mitigation up here. So it turns out that, the amount of mitigation that is required more or less equals the amount of area that we're mitigating here, which is the coastal bank itself. So to add a buffer strip would be additional mitigation, which is not required. I just want to identify that. And obviously, we really felt that, restoring the resource area itself was the most important.
Yeah.
So this is the top of coastal bank, and which is, it's the flood zone, and the flood zone sets the top of coastal bank because this is very flat. So as Stephanie noted, that's how they delineated this. Which is all currently lawn space. So we're really restoring, it's not only mitigation, but it's a restoration of, valuable resource area. But I do appreciate your sense of adding some planting up here to try to slow down some of that runoff. We just don't, I know that my client's a little sensitive to the amount of area we're giving up based on what's required.
Well, except that, so, this is all in the, it's in the outer aura.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is 1-to-1 in the outer aura.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a small amount that's in the 0 to 50, I think.
No, because it's 0 to 50 is reduced, although I had a question about that for
that's
you,
right.
Stephanie. So it's saying that the reduction is coming out of the driveway, but when I look at the existing and I look at the proposed driveway looks larger than the existing. So how do you end up with a?
It's just, some of it is pulled out of the 50-foot buffer.
And
Correct.
moved, so into the outer aura?
Yes.
Okay.
This, I'm just outlining the existing driveway.
Yep,
I think that's
that's the
for your
proposed,
kind of
right.
use.
And is that
This is the
circular,
existing-
circular at the end of where you just start by the garage? Is that actually a circular area for the?
This here is a circular area.
Currently, no, it's,
No, it's not now, but is that what you're proposing, a circular area for getting in and out of the
Yes.
garage? Okay, huh.
There,
So that's the existing
NDZ
driveway,
does
just
have
for
an
reference.
increase in square footage,
Does it?
1358, because they have, existing hardscape is 2270, and the proposed is 2949. But then,
No.
but the
Different
other
numbers.
goes down.
We're looking at different numbers.
are you looking?
Maybe I'm looking
I
at-
think you might have the older submittal.
plan.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well,
This one goes from existing at 2267 down to 2165 for a reduction of 102,
yeah,
which in the narrative apparently is coming out of the driveway.
Right.
Right.
Area.
Can I just add, Janet, where the bank is an actual bank, a steep inclined bank versus just, I don't want to say just the flood zone, but there is roughly anywhere from 30 to 35-foot wide strip of buffer plantings. The lawn does not go all the way down to the bank there.
On
So
which,
over on
down
this-
on the south side, yes.
Yes.
I've noticed, I did see that.
Okay.
And so that's fine, because you weren't talking about extending the mitigation down that far. Because that does have a good vegetated
Right.
buffer. I'm just concerned about this, you're putting all of these plants on here without a buffer strip to protect them. That was my concern about that.
I agree. Something needs to protect it. Anything
If we did
else?
like if we did, if we were to offer a couple of feet of additional planting beyond that line, would that be sufficient?
Well, it may be. It depends on whether it makes sense and whether it's protection. You know, I mean, the grasses can do some good, but you've got them starting at the bank edge. So extend them up and over, add some other shrubs in there, and Bob's your uncle, you've got some protection.
Anything else?
No. I have a question about the coverage calculation. So in the narrative, you're accounting for the pool, the patio, the gates, and the retaining walls. But there's also a portion of the structure of the house and the porch that extend into the outer aura. Are they accounted for in those coverage calculations? Because they're not mentioned.
Yes, because we
Yes.
do have, I'm looking at the numbers on the site plan, and we do have the existing square footage of building in the 50 to 100 is 471 square feet, and the proposed building within the 50
Okay, there's the building
is
growing into-
1504. So it is broken
And that's
down
the
between.
expansion of the building on the, is that the expansion of the building? Because the building is moving back a little bit out of, so how does it?
Well, it includes the cabana and the portions of the new building footprint.
South side is the expanded area.
Yeah. Or also to the north is, we've got one wing of the proposed building in the outer aura.
Right, right, but I think that's, oh, I see, it does extend beyond what's existing, so, okay, I've got that then. Okay, and what is, can you tell me that the square footage of the patio and the pool, they're not called out? Do you know what the areas of those two are?
I
Patio's
do
usually big.
not.
The patio's huge.
Patio is, and what is the material for the patio?
It'll be a dry set stone, like a natural stone.
All right. So it's semi-pervious.
Correct.
Do you know what the pool is?
Or the dimensions of the pool?
What the dimensions are?
Yeah, the pool is, the dimensions are 18 feet by 36 feet in length. So
Big pool.
kind of moderately sized. There's also a small hot tub at one end as well.
And is there, and I apologize, I didn't write down where I saw it, but at some point, I did come across the word resodding. Do you know where that,
I think that there's going to be a certain level of disturbance for construction moving this structure.
Right.
So we have, I believe there's a limit of work shown on the plan. We are proposing to re-vegetate any disturbed lawn areas with fescue sod. Or seed, but it'll be
Seed.
a fescue.
yeah, we would prefer, we don't usually approve sod in jurisdictional areas.
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. I think that's all I have, thank you.
Anyone else?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Stephanie, you've got a view easement depicted, but it's a single line. There's no second
Right.
line to show me
going-
the size of it.
Toward the remainder of the property to the east. So from that line to the east is the view
All of
easement.
it? All of
I
that?
believe so.
And does that benefit the property, the adjacent property? Or is that
To
a
the
view
south,
corridor
yes.
or an easement?
It was listed as a view easement.
So it must, okay, benefit the okay, wow,
Wow.
no. But you don't have any structure in there anyway, so, okay. That's a big easement.
It sure
That's
is.
all, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
on this seed, this fescue seed versus sod, sometimes I've been doing it a long time, and when you're seeding, depending on the time of year, when the construction is ready, I mean, you can get runoff, the seed doesn't take, it requires tons and tons of water to try to get it going, especially if you're trying to do it in the summer. I would just like to have, my partners here reconsider and think about the Black Beauty. It's a fescue sod. It works wonderful. It stops any future erosion, runoff immediately. It requires less water. Even fertilizer is basically what it is. It's the same thing as seeding, but except you cover it and you don't have you don't have to use so much water, and you don't have the chance of runoff, sand, when nothing but weeds grow in the summer in these areas you're trying to seed. Yeah, I don't know, it just seems to me that.
Does that make sense on a property like this one that's so sloped?
It works better, especially when it's sloped, because otherwise, if it's sloped and you gotta put seed down, then you gotta put, a seed covering or jute twine or Curlex over the seeded area so that it doesn't run off. And, there's a lot of benefit to Black Beauty sod. It's the same as a Cape Cod lawn, basically.
Good. Well, that's good to know. All right, well, so you've heard that, Stephanie. And Peter.
Yep, Black Beauty is what we typically spec.
Okay. It would be specified in the findings anyway.
Perfect.
Anybody have anything else? Anything else, Eric?
No?
Okay. Anybody? All right. I'm not hearing that we're really asking for changes. So I think we can go to an order. So now we have to figure out when. Fun job. How soon do you want this order?
Is there, what's your next available, I guess?
We have a meeting October 8th. We have a meeting October 22nd. We also have November 5th, November 12th.
Do they need ZBA?
This does not,
It's not, anything with ZBA is based off the height of the structure, so it's not ZBA, it wouldn't be our thing.
if it could go on the 8th, great. If that's putting too much pressure on you, the following one, what did you say, the 22nd?
22nd would be the next one.
So I know that they, just to chime in a little bit on that, I know that they're attempting to try to get their foundations in this season, and the season's, very quickly winding down. So the sooner we can get it, the better, and we
Okay,
certainly
we'll do it
appreciate
the
anything
8th.
you can do.
We'll do
Awesome,
it the
thank you.
8th.
Okay, thank you.
Really
If we
appreciate
have
it.
a motion to send this to an order for the 8th.
I move that we continue 504 Old Harbor Road to the meeting on October 8th for an order of conditions.
Second?
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
All right, the next, Paul, please.
Next on the agenda, Madam Chairman, is notice of intent. 91 Gillis Road is the address. Catherine and Billy Kyle? Okay. Parcel 3-CG4, DEP number SC10 3738. The applicants propose to remove and relocate an existing single-family dwelling off the property and rebuild a new single-family dwelling, install a new Title V innovative AI system, and all associated landscaping, mitigation, restoration plantings, grading, and appurtenances. There are two, continued from August 13, 2025.
Okay,
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, members of the commission. Zachary Basinski, Bracken Engineering, here this afternoon on behalf of Kate and Billy Kajil. At this time, I'd like to share my screen.
okay.
So as discussed at the last hearing, the applicants are looking to take the existing single-family structure, historic 1924 structure, relocate it across the property, or across the street onto an abutting property, and build a new single-family three-bedroom house on the lot. At the last hearing, we will continue to answer some questions. A letter was submitted. We've confirmed the OR area is 6,476 square feet. We're proposing to cover 45.4% or an additional 10.4% over the 35% maximum allowed without a variance. This is a request of 675 square feet of additional coverage within the OR. We're proposing to offset that by installing additional 1,950 square feet of mitigation plantings outside of the coastal bank on the property. As we discussed last time, we're also looking to restore 1,957 square feet of historic lawn area that's on the coastal bank itself. We believe that this is a 2.8% or 2.8 times mitigation over the request for the increase, so we believe it's a vast improvement to the area. Also, as reviewed last time, there's a retaining wall off the back of the lot. We have added a detail onto the proposed site plan. This will be a poured concrete wall, again, sited outside the 50-foot buffer. All structures are in the out of OR on the lot. Nothing will be within the inner 0 to 50-foot OR on the property. And as reviewed at the last hearing, we have added the quantities of proposed plants to the mitigation side of the detail. Project results in an increase or installation of 78 shrubs within both the mitigation and restoration areas on the lot, and an additional 19 trees are proposed. And as discussed at the last hearing, there are no proposed trees removed within the 100-foot buffer. All tree removal is outside the 100-foot buffer on the lot. With this, we believe that the proposed project is a vast improvement. It will protect all the resource areas. The down gradient salt marsh will provide increased on-site stormwater management, and also the clients are voluntarily installing an IA septic system, which will enhance and reduce the nitrogen loading in the area and protect the sensitive resource areas. And with that, I will turn it back over for questions.
Okay, I'd like to, before we get into lots of questions, just go over a few of the notes I had that you were going to deal with after the last time it was heard. We had down that we had asked that possibly the garage be shrunken, and did that happen? I couldn't.
Yep.
It
Yep,
didn't.
garage size was shrunk down to 17 and a half.
Okay. Also, this percentage that you give us for the outer aura of 45.4, I don't know. I just, it sure doesn't look like 45.4%. I'd like an explanation of how you're coming up with that, because it sure looks like way more to us, or at least to me.
Oh, it's the in between. I'm going to share my screen again. So the area was taken between the 50 and the 45-foot buffer zones through that calculated, and then it's the coverage of the house and the decks and the stairs on the back. So we calculate that to be 45.4%.
Is that 45.4% more than the 20.7 that exists? Maybe that's where.
No, that's a total
Yeah, it
structure
just-
coverage within the outer
I don't
wall.
know, it looks like way more coverage than that to me. And to a few people that I talked to. Okay, and we had down that you were going to, we asked you to consider having more plants and less mix in your mitigation.
Yep, we have
You
increased
say
the,
additional
plants.
plantings have been added. I
Yep,
just,
we have the additional planting that was installed, and we reduced the mix in the back. As I mentioned, the resultant is 78% shrubs, and then 19 trees within the or restoration and mitigation areas.
okay. Any commissioners have anything? I have a couple more things, but I'd love to have others go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say positive, I think the mitigation plan is excellent. It's an ideal place for mitigation. There might be a little some increase in the size, but I can't help but look at the mitigation, and I looked at the property, and to me, it's a huge benefit. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Janet?
Just want to throw in a well done for the IA system and proposing that, especially in this location where you are upslope of a very vulnerable body of water and a marsh. Very good, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I have a couple questions about your mitigation and restoration planting notes. Number 4, you say any revisions to the approved final planting plan shall be coordinated with Chatham Conservation staff. You do know that if it's revised after the order, you'd have to come back to us for
Yep, we're not
approval. It
looking
doesn't
to-
just go to the agent to approve it. So I just want to make sure, I know you say it requires an amendment. It may require, if you change the plan, it's a field change, an amendment, it's something, and you'd have to come back to us. So it behooves you to have it sort of set now. We'd rather you not have to come back to us. So that's just saying that. And then number 9, you say the final layout, quantity, and design shall be coordinated with conservation staff prior to implementation. We do consider this to be the plan. So we don't put that on our agent to have to then deal with this after the fact. So I just want to make sure that you actually consider this to be the final plan.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe could you just modify those notes and get us a plan so that it reflects that? Because I don't want anybody coming back to us saying that they can go just to the agent. We try and not have him have to deal with things like that.
We'll gladly update it for you.
Okay, and just get it back to us as soon as possible. I don't think that should take much to take those out. Anybody have anything else? I think they've met the things that we needed. So I think we can go to an order, in which case, how soon do you need this?
We're in front of the ZBA tomorrow night, so if we could do the
Right.
next available meeting, the meeting on the 8th, that would be greatly appreciated.
I'd like to do the 22nd.
If
Is
that's the
that
next available,
possible?
if that's the next available, we'll take it.
What?
You say
If that's the next available meeting,
Okay.
we'll take it. Yep.
Oh,
All right, remember, I only have another week before I leave. Well, we have a few, so, all right, we're going to put it on the 8th. It's just, I'm away, starting next week, and don't want to put too much on all the commissioners, so that was my hesitation. So go ahead, Paul. I'm going to go to an order on the 8th.
I move that we continue 91 Gillis Road to the meeting on October 8th for an order of conditions.
Second.
Okay, Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I say aye. All right, thank
you, everyone.
you. Paul, next one, please.
Next on the agenda, Madam Chair, is notice of intent, 70 Sears Point Road, Susan and Greg Shorten, map 11A1, parcel 7-5, DEP number SE 103735. Project is demolish and renovate a portion of the existing dwelling, addition of 2 decks, viewing deck, a rinse station, and mitigation, and was continued from August 27, 2025.
Okay,
Good evening, or good afternoon, Tim Santos from Merrill Engineers, representing the applicant, also
wait,
with me.
just 1 second. Dylan
Sure.
Lance, is your hand raised for this?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, if you
yes.
could just wait until after everything's presented. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't for the last one.
No, Dylan's with me, so for the
Okay.
record, Tim Santos from Merrill Engineers, representing the applicant. Also with me this afternoon is Dylan Lance from Crawford Land Management. This project was before you a few weeks ago, at which time it was continued requesting additional information. So I'll kind of run through that quick, turn it over to Dylan, and then we'll answer any questions you might have. Again, the property is located at 70 Sears Point Sears Point Lane. So we've addressed that and fixed that on the plans at Sears Point Lane. There was a discussion about a proposed fence that has been eliminated from the project altogether. There was also discussion about some vista pruning along the bank. We've eliminated that from the project at this time. The board requested a variance and alternative analysis letter. We have submitted that. There were questions in regard to the timber grinds along the seaward side of the property. I've submitted the DEP license that was issued for these grinds, as well as the pier and the boardwalk. That's all been approved by DEP, and there is a license for that. So I know there was some discussions about potentially requesting the applicant to remove them, but they are licensed and we'd like to leave them at this time. There was also an additional question in regard to the percentage of the coverage in the outer aura. So we've added that calculation to the table right here. There's 2611 square footage coverage. The outer aura is 7676, and that comes out to a 34% coverage in that outer aura. I'll turn it over to Dylan so he can review his revised planting plan, and then we can address any questions you might have.
Good afternoon, Dylan Lance with Crawford Land Management. I will share my screen to show the plan.
34, here it is on this.
So the changes that were already addressed, that fence was removed and there's no more vista management proposed anywhere. Other than that, the major changes are talking with the client. They would like to remove this small existing picket fence as well, along with the landscape beds that are directly adjacent to it. And also pruning on trees overhanging the roof up in this corner especially. They have some solar panels on the roof, and there are squirrels starting to nest in them, and it's starting to become a bit of an issue.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I do appreciate that you've listened
Yep.
about removing the fence and the vista pruning and.
Thank you for the license on the grinds.
Yeah, the license of the groins, so thank you for addressing everything. Janet, anybody?
I have a little question. When you mentioned the vista pruning being eliminated, you said at this time. Does that mean you may come back to us at some point?
If I can let Dylan answer that, but if the applicant, I guess, wish to do some vista pruning along that bank, then you might see this application in the future. So that's why it was stated at this time.
Okay, terrific, thank you.
Okay, anybody? Anything else? All right, then I think we can go to an order. Could we do the 22nd of October?
That's fine. I believe our zoning hearing is October 26th. so-
Right, but we could have it ready, go over it,
Okay.
and then at the, unless you don't care, and then, that we do it on the 22nd, and we could put it off until the 5th of November.
Would you vote it on the 22nd? I'm assuming you would just kind of continue
We
it.
could go over it and have it all ready, and then, it would just be a matter on the 5th of November, or we can just have it ready for the 5th and only deal with this once.
Whatever's more convenient for you.
Let's do the 5th.
Because it sounds to me like we'd have to go twice anyway, so I'm fine with that.
Yep. Okay, then if we could have a motion to go to an order on 11-5.
I move that we continue 70 Sears Point Road to the meeting on November 5th for an order of conditions.
Second.
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. And the next, please, Paul.
Next on the
Thank you for
agenda,
your
Madam
time. Have a great day.
Chair. Sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Two.
Next on the agenda is a notice of intent for 784 Orleans Road. Did I just read that one?
No, we have a continuance, that's
Yeah,
why.
okay. This is for the town of Chatham, 11J, parcel 6-6, SE 10, 3729. Project is enlargement of a boat and trailer parking lot for safety reasons within land subject to coastal storm flowage, relocate historic communication towers at the MCI facility, buffer zone to a coastal bank. It was continued from April 23rd, 2025, and the town is asking for a continuance to December 17th. They still have to work out some zoning issues.
Oh, I thought it said December 3rd. It's the 17th? Okay, then December 17th it is. I had it wrong.
I move that we continue 784 Orleans Road to the meeting on December
Sorry, guys,
17th,
this is
2025.
Oh, Crystal, yeah?
Did I get the wrong date?
Catherine's email that she sent said December 3rd.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank
My
you.
mistake, sorry.
Okay,
don't know
so
why, but-
12-3.
I wrote this
Okay, I
down.
move that we continue 784 Orleans Road to the meeting on December 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet? Aye. Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, I think we're doing the next two together, right,
Yes,
Paul?
I'll read them both together.
Okay, good.
Notice of intent for 22 Tails Pond Road, Dean Ryback, trustee, map 5C, parcel J5, DEP number SE 10, 3741. Project is demolition of an existing dwelling and construction of a new dwelling and driveway within land subject to coastal storm flowage and a coastal bank. Additionally, construction of a sewage disposal system within the buffer zone to a coastal bank. It was continued from July 23rd and August 27, 2025. It is combined with Lot 4, Calco Cove Road, Dean Ryback, map 5C, parcel J4, DEP number SE 10, 3740. Construction of a single-family dwelling and driveway within the buffer zone to a coastal bank and removal of a driveway within land subject to coastal storm flowage. It was continued from August 13, 2025. I read these so fast, I think I knock an hour off of the agenda.
Excellent.
Boy.
Okay.
David Clark Engineering on behalf of the Ryback family. Sorry for the late submittal. We just wanted, the purpose of that was really to have the record match Lot 4 to 22. I don't, Bill Segan's here from the landscape architect firm. I don't believe there were any substantial changes to Lot 4. We had already gone through the changes for 22 last time. And so I think it was just because 22 is shown on Lot 4, we wanted to make sure that the plans were consistent between the two projects. Bill's here to talk about the landscaping if you have any questions.
Great. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mike Segan.
Oh, Mike,
with
sorry.
Richter and Segan. That's all right, Dave. Bill Weckman's on too as well as Rachel Meyer. We just had one change. We had incorporated numerous items based on input from the commission at the last meeting. So This revision is just adding on 22 Taylor, we're adding actually one on Lot 4 as well, but post light to light up the entryway as you go into the main entrance from the house, from the garage. So we wanted to light that area. And we'll talk on Lot 4, we'll talk about, we're adding another post light to try to help light again that darker quarter should come through the town-owned land with the winding driveway that comes down. So that light will be a really full cutoff and cast downward. The other thing we wanted to talk about is there was some comment at the last meeting about our pavers, and the cobble pavers weren't pervious, especially ones that have mortar joints, and that's a correct statement. So what we wanted to show you is the pavers that we had in mind that we've used on numerous other projects. This is a residence actually in the village of Irvington, New York, but it shows the paver on the left, and you can see the joints that are gravel joints. And I can assure you water just pours through these. They're very pervious. This is the type of paver. It may be a different color we'll use, but the type of paver we'll be using on this project. Next. This shows the cross section. You can see that you control the size of the joints as well as the stone material in the joints that allows a free flow of water, and then the different layers, the base course, as well as a sub-base course that water just moves through very quickly. And we're fortunate here, not on all our sites, but the existing subgrade is just a sand and gravel, so it's almost optimum conditions for infiltration. Next. And this is just a manufacturer's cut that shows the amount of water that would be moving through the infiltration rate. It's actually, let's see here, yeah, if you can zero in there, 896 inches per hour, and I think if my math is correct, that's 15 inches per minute. So water moves through this, and we've seen demonstrations. We've actually seen it on our projects that it's very pervious, and water moves through very, very well, and is going to do an excellent job on this site given the subgrade conditions. Next. So that's just an overview of the one change to the plan, and just wanted to address the issue on the pervious material. So that concludes my end of it.
Thank you. Anybody want to start?
I just have a comment. Thank you for all that material on those pavers. That was actually very educational to understand better what differentiates pavious pervers from pavious pervers in terms of and it really comes down to the infiltration rate. So I think we'll be adopting some of those specifications as standard conditions for these kinds of projects. Saying that, I assume that you'll go with, that infiltration rate is based on a 9/16 joint width, the widest that they, which I think that would also end up being a standard condition. So, yeah, 896 inches is fantastic. So I guess that means that the stone substance itself is also pervious to some pretty significant degree. So thank you for that. Oh, question for David. So all of this material is now all on these plans that are mitigation and planting plans. Is there a final site plan that contains all of this, or are these the plans of record now?
Well, they're both the plans of record, and we don't specify the exact
They
material.
moved things around and moved the
we-
stairs, so does your site plan match?
Yes, our site plan reflects the change in the retaining walls and the stairs.
Okay, I just couldn't find one in the site plan.
It doesn't show the lamp post, but.
No, it wouldn't, that would be on the landscape, but I just didn't see, I couldn't find in the file a site plan that matched the final site configuration.
It was
submitted.
definitely submitted,
All right.
because we reviewed it at the last meeting. Because
Didn't we move?
the changes to the wall and the stairs,
Oh, so nothing's changed in the site plan
since
from the
the
last meeting
27th.
to now?
Correct.
So it would be in that folder?
Yes.
It's not
We file
since-
things by date, not by, so it's, you have to know when, when changes were made to find it. We'll add that, thank you.
One of my things, we had talked about possibly moving the rent station further out of the NDZ, and that's not happening?
it's
Is that
not.
correct?
Because the whole site's developed to a certain extent, moving it doesn't change its impact to the resource area, because the
Right.
real resource area is the pond. And we're just talking about the buffer zone to a possibly man-made coastal bank.
Okay. And our coverage is still 60.7 for Taylor?
Yes, we were hoping that there was gonna be some reduction in revising the driveway on 22, but for the maneuvering to get in and out of the garage, all
Oh,
that
no, I
area
get
is
it,
really
but-
required, yeah.
Okay. And I believe you were, someone, I think Bill, was going to put together a document or something dealing with the mitigation that's
Yeah.
for Lot 4 that's on Taylor Pond. And I know he's been away.
He has been away, and I tried to get a hold of him this morning, and his office being right next to mine, I didn't see his car all day today, so, not to chastise him, he's entitled at 80 years old to take a day off.
Oh, I don't know.
So, but in regards to the mitigation of Lot 4 being on Lot 22, no matter what happens to that mitigation, the owners of Lot 22 ultimately are responsible to making sure that that mitigation is maintained. So if it's incorporated into the order of conditions that Lot 22 Taylor's Pond Road is responsible for all the mitigation, the Rybecks, they got to do it either way because they own both properties. So if it's 22 Taylor's Pond is responsible for all that mitigation, they're fine with it.
But then you're getting no, it's Lot 4's
Right.
mitigation, and let's say something happens and Lot 4 and 22 are not owned by the same people. We've lost that control.
You need a license agreement of some sort?
Yeah.
Well,
Allow access
that
to
would
maintain
be-
the mitigation.
That would
That's
be
what Bill's
one
gonna-
solution, and that was what Bill was thinking, and we actually discussed it last week. And so long as there is a mechanism to ensure that the mitigation at 22 Taylor's Pond Road is in place, it doesn't matter really who does it, as long as somebody's on the hook for it. And that's why I was saying, if you put it in the order of conditions.
Right, and it would be, but we need something. So how soon do you think Bill could get us a license agreement, is really where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
If you say to him it's going to hold up, let's say we say these can go to an order, and we say October 22nd. But if we don't have that license agreement, we're not going to be able to approve it then, so.
If this is the only thing that's going to hold up issuing an order between now and October 22nd, I think there are 5 or 6 individuals on the team that are going to.
Yeah, well, that's my
Make sure
point, is,
Mr. Riley-
what I'm trying to get, what I'm trying to get to is, I don't want to delay this
Oh, I understand.
because of one document. And so, I'm just saying,
Well,
if we did that, we need it
Sooner than.
sooner than later.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want it arriving on October 21st.
Right.
You know, so,
It's not, he should have no problem. He's done these before.
Exactly.
He has, I just-
Examples where
just
we've
thinking
had
that-
mitigation or something on a.
Exactly.
On an abutting property.
But I
so-
don't want
But we
to-
just need it, because these, 3 years minimally, and some of these conditions are perpetual, so.
Yep, understood.
Yep.
Okay.
do you have something?
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, the feather in the cap is moving the house back towards the road.
Right.
Even though it's not in our area, it's pretty close to our area. They're not having a driveway coming off the road to go to the, well, I call it, what is it, the guest house, or it's just someone else's house. So anyway, the lot, which you are saving a lot of trees and wooded area, so it is kind of connected. The driveway is great. The only other question I have is, what about roof runoff? What are you gonna do with that? It'll go in the driveway, I guess it'll suck it up?
Well, that's what's kind of killing us on the site coverage numbers. Rather than having gutters and downspouts, we have a perimeter drain, so to speak, around the entire foundation that's gravel.
Oh, that's good, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And so we're counting that towards our site coverage.
All
And
right.
it's, well, you see the dotted line on the plan, that's the roof overhang, and the gravel extends beyond that. And that roof overhang, I think, is 2.5 feet or.
Yeah, that
so
works,
it's
that works fine.
wide,
Yeah.
And that's what's hurting our numbers on the site coverage.
Okay. Anybody else, any questions, comments? Then I think we can move both of these properties to an order for October 22nd, and Bill will be getting that license agreement
Yes.
to us lickety-split. Okay, Paul.
I move that we continue 22 Taylor's Pond Road and Lot 4 Cockle Cove Road to the meeting on October 22nd for an order of conditions.
Second?
Okay, Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul, next.
Next, we move on to finally certificates of compliance. I believe Bradford's on the line. I gave him all but the 17 Bog One Way. So let me read the first one. It's 1005 Main Street, Theodore Stribert, maps 12F, 13J, and 13-I, parcels 42, 52, and 51, DEP number SC 103340. Wetland restoration was the project, and Bradford, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
So this was an order of conditions that was issued in 2019 for dredging.
Bradford, can you speak up a little, please?
Yeah, for sure. Is this better?
Turn the volume up?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, sure.
In essence, are we supposed to, do you think we should approve this?
Yes, there were no issues.
Oh, we can hear you now, so, okay, you can go into some detail if you want.
Okay. So this was an order from 2019 for dredging of vegetation buildup within their pond. There was also some invasive species control and wetland restoration. And as I mentioned, there were no issues. The vegetation looked great, so okay to approve.
Perfect. All right, thank you. All right, we can have a motion, please, Paul.
I move that we approve the certificate of compliance for 1005 Main Street.
Second?
Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet?
I love this project. I'm so happy with how it turned out, so I'm
Yeah.
delighted to say aye.
Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, the next one, please.
Next on the agenda is certificate of compliance, 149 Kochpinicket Road, Galaxy Nominee Trust, map 16K, parcel 1, DEP number SC 102663. Project was demolition and reconstruction of a guest house. Bradford.
Yep, so this was an order of conditions from 2010. We do have photos from 2011 where the mitigation plantings were in place. In the last 10, 15 years or so, those plantings have changed. However, in under the order of conditions for this property that you just approved earlier today, they have a note to replant this area with appropriate selected shrubs and herbaceous material. So again, I think this one's okay to approve.
So, just so everybody, in case you didn't catch it, the mitigation was changed, and so as a result, they are incorporated that part of the project from here into the new application that we're hearing, so that this can be closed, and then we can have everything all in one. So, okay, Paul?
I move that we approve the certificate of compliance for 149 Cutspinnicket Road.
Second.
Elise?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Aye.
Okay, one more.
One more is certificate of compliance, 17 Bog Way, Bruce and Teresa Reed, map 6C, parcel 22-G10, DEP number SC10 3116. These were additions and hardscape. Briefly, Molly, who used to be the agent here, did a field change request. Almost all the construction that was proposed in the original order was removed in that field change request. The only thing that was built was a deck. And they have provided adequate mitigation for the deck. I think he even went out and did a few extra plants just recently, just to satisfy himself, but I'm fine with recommending approval of this COC.
Okay,
I move that we approve the certificate of compliance for 17 Bog Way.
Second.
okay, Eric?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Janet?
Aye.
Elise?
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay, Paul, next.
Next on the agenda is a violation update, address 124 Mooncustle Lane, Elizabeth A. Sorensen, 219 Trust is the owner, map 10A, parcel 4-H2, DEP number SC10 2905. Construction of a swimming pool in an unapproved area. This has been resolved. There is no violation.
Correct.
I don't need to say any more.
So we don't need to do anything, do
I
we?
didn't do anything. It just
Okay.
got put on the agenda before we
Knew it was
met
resolved.
with everybody and resolved it, and it's been resolved.
Okay, great. Okay, the next thing, please.
Next on the agenda is the last thing before you adjourn, is minutes should be approved from July 23rd, 2025.
Okay, does anybody have any changes?
This will
to
go,
the
this will go
minutes?
smooth because Bob's not here, so.
I did read it pretty carefully for spelling, just so you know. But not realizing Bob wasn't here, but anyway, or forgetting that Bob wasn't here. Anybody have any changes or anything? Okay, we can have a motion, please.
I move that we approve the minutes from July 23rd, 2025.
Second.
Okay, Elise.
Aye.
Janet. Aye. Paul.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I say aye. Okay. And now we need one more motion.
I move that we adjourn the hearing.
Second.
Okay, Eric.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Janet. Elise.
Aye.
And I say aye. And we are done.
Yep.